10 most expensive things owned by Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is currently the richest man on the face of the earth, with a fortune of $200 billion, an amount that, when converted to real, exceeds the house of $1 trillion. As the creator of Amazon, Bezos currently owns 16% of the company, plus all the benefits of being a CEO. But there's a lot to do with $200 billion, and Bezos spends that virtually infinite amount of money on a lot of things. So today, we're going to show you Jeff Bezos' 10 most expensive things. Number 10. The largest house in Washington, D.C. In 2016, Bezos bought the most expensive home in Washington, D.C., paying $23 million upfront to own it. In fact, this house is a museum that consists of two houses. Both are over 100 years old and are connected by a walkway. The land for this house is 2,508 square meters, which is more than enough for anyone. But Jeff wants to do an extension that will cost $12 million. He wants to have a house with 25 bathrooms, 11 bedrooms, 5 living rooms, 3 kitchens, and 1 gigantic ballroom. Bezos wants to make his home the ultimate space for socializing, which he'll probably do. Number 9. Investment in the space race. Coordinating the giant that is Amazon is not Jeff Bezos' only passion. Like Elon Musk, he's fascinated with outer space and is even a big Star Trek fan. This passion was awakened when he was 5 years old and saw man reach the moon. In 2000, Bezos founded Blue Origin, a company whose goal is someday to make space travel accessible to everyone. Knowing space travel is expensive, Bezos invests billions of dollars in Blue Origin. He also looks not only at space, but also at the bottom of the sea. His company makes expeditions to find space travel rocket debris and bring it to the surface. Number 8. A Gulfstream G650ER jet. For someone who has so much money, it is surprising that Jeff Bezos doesn't spend on cars. Even though he's the richest man in the world, he is content with a 1996 Honda Accord, no Bugattis or Ferraris. But that doesn't mean that Bezos doesn't spend money on other means of transport. When he needs to fly, for example, he has a top-of-the-line 2015 plane at his disposal that costs an incredible $65 million. The plane is extremely fast and comfortable, which is to be expected for one of the price. Number 7. Investments a lot. It is extremely difficult to spend $200 billion on personal utilities alone. So Jeff Bezos decided to make several investments with his fortune. He even has a website called Bezos Expeditions, where you can see all of his acquisitions. He has invested $50 million in Twitter and funded several other platforms, such as Teach Street, which helps students search for teachers and classes in the areas around them. He also invested in ZocDoc, which helps people find cheaper doctors around, and also at Nextdoor, which allows users to be informed about what happens in the neighborhood. Most of the time, his investments take off, especially when it's made public that he put money into the company. In total, he has already earned $684 million in investments alone. Bezos also invested $112 million in Airbnb and $35 million in Uber. In addition, he also invests in traditional media, where he bought the renowned The Washington Post. Washington DC's main newspaper, for $250 million. Number 6. Real estate. As you can imagine, Bezos has real estate in various places around the world, and he does not use them only for residential purposes. He has, for example, a farm in Texas of approximately 67,000 hectares as a base of operations for Blue Origin. He also owns several other properties in famous places, such as 2 Beverly Hills homes that together cost $28 million. The most amazing thing is that where Bezos buys a house, the price goes up exorbitantly. For example, in New York, to live near a building in Bezos, the price per square meter is between $22,000 and $33,000. Number 5. Donations and philanthropy. With the greatest fortune in all of modern history, it would be tremendous arrogance if Bezos didn't spend some of it to help others. Fortunately, he does this by returning some of this money to his community and to people in need in the rest of the world. Generally, Bezos invests his money to ensure quality education for others, more precisely for those who cannot afford it. In 2018, he launched the Bezos Day One Fund, where he invested $2 billion to help homeless people and other very low-income people. In addition, he has made very significant donations to educational and cultural institutions, such as the Seattle Museum and his former university, Princeton. He also donated $33 million to help organizations fighting for the legalization of immigrants in the United States and to secure scholarships for young immigrants with citizenship issues. Number 4. Unknown investment in Google. Many people think that Jeff Bezos' fortune came only from Amazon, but that thought is completely wrong. While starting his operations at Amazon, Bezos bought an Indian delivery service called Junglee. Although the company went bankrupt, this purchase introduced him to a very important person named Rama Shiran, who was helping 2 Stanford students, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. These young people were creating a tool that we still use today, Google. Bezos took an interest in their initiative and decided to negotiate an investment. However, the negotiations failed. Later, after proving his worth with Amazon's success and making his company worth $1.6 billion, Bezos convinced the creators of Google that he was someone to be trusted and that the Amazon owner's investments would be worth it. Bezos then received permission to invest in Google, spending $1 million to buy part of the company. We don't know how much Bezos has earned so far in dividends, and with the appreciation of the company, which is worth over $1 trillion today. But we know that his fortune has grown exponentially with this investment. Number 3. A 10,000-year-old watch. A part of Bezos' fortune is destined for extremely exotic ideas. For example, he wants to create a giant clock capable of running for over 10,000 years. Most likely, civilization as we know it today will no longer exist and the clock will continue to run. This clock is being built on his farm in Texas. As Bezos posted on his Twitter, watches are synonymous with long-term thinking. He's so passionate about the initiative that he donated $42 million to create the watch. Number 2. A specialized security team. Being the richest man in the world brings some special complications, and Bezos realized this. So he goes to great lengths to preserve his safety and that of his family. In 2016, Bezos spent $1.6 million on his personal security. To get a sense of how high that amount is, Apple spends $200,000 for the safety of its CEO, Tim Cook, 8 times less than Amazon. Number 1. Literally a piece of Seattle. Bezos doesn't own Seattle, but you could say he owns a part of the city where Amazon is based. Owning nearly 200,000 square meters of Seattle territory, the $1.5 billion investment made Amazon one of the largest commercial companies in the area. After that, he has already bought a lot more land in Seattle, and as the Seattle Times newspaper reported in 2017, Amazon has bought more space in Seattle than 40 other large companies combined. Amazon's headquarters in Seattle is a wonder to anyone with its beautiful design, designed to ensure comfort for its employees. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to know about the most expensive items of other billionaires, leave suggestions in the comments. And don't forget to leave your thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos like this. Bye bye!